6 True Scary Walmart Horror Stories, Volume 2, Story 1, The Parking Garage, Part 1. My name is Brianna, and I was 28 years old when this happened. I was shopping at a Walmart in suburban Chicago, Illinois on a Saturday evening. It was around 7:45 p.m., and I had parked in the attached parking garage on the 3rd level. The garage was dimly lit and mostly empty when I returned to my car with my groceries. That is when I noticed the van. A white cargo van with no windows parked directly next to my driver's side door. It had not been there when I arrived. Subscribe now and leave a comment below, because what was waiting in that van almost ended my life. Part 2. The Walmart was one of those massive urban locations with a multi-level parking garage attached. During peak hours, finding a spot was a challenge. By evening, the upper levels emptied out considerably. I had arrived around 6:30, parked on the 3rd level, because the lower floors were full. The space next to my car had been empty. Shopping took about an hour. Groceries, household supplies, the usual weekend run. When I returned to the 3rd level, the garage was nearly deserted. Maybe 5 cars total on the entire floor, and a white van parked directly beside my driver's door. The positioning was deliberate, so close that I would have to squeeze between the vehicles to get in. The van's engine was running. Through the tinted windshield, I could see a figure behind the wheel. I stopped walking about 30 feet from my car. Part 3. I pulled out my phone. 911, what is your emergency? I'm in the parking garage at the Walmart on North Avenue. There is a van parked next to my car that was not there before. Engine running, someone inside. Can you return to the store? Yes. I backed toward the elevator. The van's side door slid open. A man stepped out. Large, wearing dark clothes. Hey, hold on. You dropped something back there. I ran. The elevator was too slow. I found the stairwell and flew down 3 flights. I burst into the Walmart gasping. Call security. There is a man in the garage. Part 4. Security and police arrived within minutes. They found the van still on the 3rd level. The man had fled on foot, but he left evidence behind. Rope, tape, a mattress in the back, and photographs of women in parking garages across the Chicago area. His name was Raymond Douglas Hutchins, 46 years old. He had been targeting women in parking garages for months. 2 women had already disappeared. Their photographs were in his van. Raymond Hutchins was arrested a week later at another parking garage. He was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. Part 5. I think about that evening constantly. The van appearing next to my car. The man stepping out with his lie about something I dropped. If I had approached my car, if I had squeezed into that gap between the vehicles, I would be another photograph in his collection. I never park in parking garages anymore. I choose open lots with good lighting. I check my surroundings before approaching my car, because predators know that parking garages are perfect hunting grounds. Dim lighting, few witnesses, women alone with their hands full. Stay alert. Park near exits, and if a van appears next to your car, do not approach. Story 2. The Restroom. Part 1. My name is Marcus, and I was 24 years old when this happened. I stopped at a Walmart in suburban Phoenix, Arizona to use the restroom during errands. It was a Sunday afternoon around 3:15 p.m., and the store was moderately busy. The men's room had 3 stalls. One was occupied. I could see feet under the door, but they were facing the wrong direction, facing the partition wall. Then I heard a soft clicking sound, like a camera shutter. Subscribe now and leave a comment below, because someone was recording through that wall. Part 2. I froze staring at those feet. Work boots pointed at the partition, not the door. Someone was standing on the toilet photographing over the wall into the adjacent stall. I backed toward the exit. "I know what you're doing in there." Silence. The clicking stopped. The stall door burst open. A man emerged, phone in hand, and tried to push past me. I grabbed his arm. "You are not going anywhere." We struggled. Another customer walked in and helped restrain him until security arrived. Part 3. Police found hundreds of recordings on his phone. Men and boys in bathrooms across Arizona, dating back 2 years. His name was Eugene Walter Patterson, 51 years old. He had been sharing the recordings online, part of a network trading voyeuristic content. Eugene Patterson was convicted on multiple federal charges. He is serving 20 years in prison. Part 4. I check every public bathroom now. I look for feet facing wrong directions. I notice gaps and holes that should not exist. Most people assume privacy in bathrooms. That assumption is dangerous. If you use public restrooms, please pay attention. Check the stalls. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong, because predators hide in bathroom stalls. They stand on toilets with cameras. They wait for you to walk in, and they count on you not noticing. Story 3. The Night Shift. Part 1. My name is Terrell, and I was 23 years old when this happened. I worked the overnight stocking shift at a Walmart in rural Mississippi, about an hour south of Jackson. It was a Tuesday night, 2:45 a.m., and the store was closed to customers. I was working alone in the garden section, organizing shelves of potting soil and fertilizer. That is when I heard breathing, coming from behind a stack of mulch bags. Heavy breathing, like someone trying to stay quiet. Subscribe now and leave a comment below, because someone had been hiding in our store for hours. Part 2. I froze listening. The breathing continued, soft but unmistakable. "Hello, someone back there." Silence. I grabbed my radio. "Security to garden section. I think someone is hiding back here." A man emerged from behind the mulch, dirty clothes, wild eyes, holding a box cutter. "Where is the safe?" I backed away. "I do not have access to any safe. I just stock shelves." He moved toward me. "Then you are coming with me to find someone who does." Part 3. I ran. I knew the store layout better than he did. I sprinted through lawn furniture past the grills toward the main floor. Security. He has a knife. My co-worker Marcus appeared from the automotive section. The man saw him and hesitated. That hesitation saved me. Security arrived. Police followed. His name was Vernon Dale Simmons, 44 years old. He had hidden in the store before closing, waiting for the overnight crew. He had done this before at other stores. 2 employees had been hurt in previous incidents. Vernon Simmons was convicted and sentenced to 18 years. Part 4. I quit overnight shifts after that. A man had hidden in our store for hours, watching, waiting. He knew we would be spread thin. He knew I would be alone in the garden section. If you work overnight retail, please check every hiding spot before your shift. Work in pairs when possible. Know where security is at all times, because predators know that overnight workers are vulnerable. They hide and wait, and they are patient. Story 4. The Fitting Room, Part 1. My name is Alia, and I was 22 years old when this happened. I was shopping at a Walmart in suburban Atlanta, Georgia, on a Thursday evening. It was around 6:30 p.m., and I needed to try on a few work shirts. The fitting room attendant handed me a number and pointed me toward the stalls. I chose one near the end. I closed the door and started to undress. That is when I noticed the gap. A hole drilled in the wall, partially hidden behind the mirror. Subscribe now and leave a comment below, because someone was watching from the other side. Part 2. The hole was small, maybe half an inch, but big enough for a camera lens. I grabbed my clothes and ran to the attendant. There is a hole in the wall of that fitting room. Someone drilled it. The manager was called. Police arrived. Behind the wall was a storage closet. Inside they found a chair and a camera on a tripod positioned at the hole. The camera had hours of footage. Dozens of women recorded without their knowledge. Part 3. They reviewed employee access logs. One employee had been entering that closet regularly, staying for extended periods during his shifts. His name was Harold Eugene Vickers, 38 years old. He had worked at the Walmart for 2 years. When they searched his home, they found thousands of recordings from multiple stores where he had previously worked. Harold Vickers was convicted on multiple voyeurism charges. He is serving 15 years in federal prison. Part 4. I check every fitting room now. Every wall, every mirror, every corner. Privacy in public spaces is often an illusion. If you use fitting rooms, please look carefully before undressing. Check for holes, gaps, anything that seems wrong. Because predators find ways to watch. They drill holes. They hide cameras. They work jobs that give them access. A few seconds of checking could protect you from becoming another recording in someone's collection. Story 5. The Stalker, Part 1. My name is Jasmine, and I was 26 years old when this happened. I was doing my weekly grocery shopping at a Walmart in suburban Denver, Colorado, on a Wednesday evening. It was around 7:15 p.m., and the store was moderately busy. I was in the produce section when I noticed a man watching me. He was standing near the apples, not selecting anything, just staring. I moved to another aisle. He appeared minutes later. For 40 minutes, everywhere I went, he followed. Subscribe now and leave a comment below, because that man followed me all the way home. Part 2. I tested it deliberately, moved to random aisles, backtracked, changed directions. Every time he appeared within minutes, never too close, just watching. I found a manager. There is a man following me through the store. They confronted him. He claimed he was just shopping. Without evidence of a crime, they could not remove him. I abandoned my cart and left through a side exit, hoping to lose him. I drove home, checking my mirrors constantly. A dark sedan followed me, all the way to my apartment complex. Part 3. I did not get out. I drove to the police station instead. The sedan followed for 2 miles, then turned away. I filed a report. They said there was little they could do without a direct threat. For a week, nothing happened. Then I found the note on my windshield. I know where you live now. Apartment 4C. See you soon. Part 4. Police increased patrols. I stayed with family. They caught him 3 days later, parked outside my apartment building at 2 a.m. His name was Gregory Douglas Patterson, 45 years old. He had stalking charges in 3 states. When they searched his car, they found photographs of women from Walmart stores across Colorado, notes about their cars, addresses, schedules. My photograph was there. He had been building a file on me. Gregory Patterson was convicted and sentenced to 12 years. Part 5. I shop differently now. I notice faces that appear too often. I vary my routes home. I never lead a stranger to my address. If someone follows you in a store, trust that feeling. Tell someone, do not lead them home. Because predators use grocery stores to find victims. They follow, they watch, they learn where you live. Stay alert. Trust your instincts. And never assume you are safe just because you're in a public place. Story 6. The Loading Dock Part 1. My name is Deshawn, and I was 25 years old when this happened. I worked as a stalker at a Walmart in suburban Houston, Texas. It was a Thursday night, 9:30 p.m., and I was helping unload a delivery truck at the loading dock. The dock was at the back of the building, isolated from the main store. Just me and one other employee handling pallets. That is when the man appeared. He walked out of the shadows near the dumpsters holding a pipe. He said he wanted the truck. And us. Subscribe now and leave a comment below. Because what happened on that loading dock almost killed me. Part 2. The loading dock was poorly lit, separated from the parking lot by a concrete wall. At night, it felt completely isolated. The man approached quickly. 40s wearing dark clothes, face partially covered. Keys to the truck, now. My co-worker Marcus froze. We do not have keys. The driver does. Where is the driver? Inside, getting paperwork signed. The man looked toward the dock door, then back at us. Then we wait. He raised the pipe. Get in the truck. Part 3. I was not getting in that truck. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a metal hook used for pulling pallets. Back off, he laughed. You think that scares me? He swung the pipe. I dodged and swung the hook. It caught his arm. He screamed and dropped the pipe. Marcus tackled him. The dock door opened. The driver appeared with a security guard. The fight ended quickly. Part 4. His name was Raymond Earl Hutchins, 48 years old. He had been robbing loading docks across the Houston area for months. In 2 cases, employees had been badly hurt. One had been kidnapped and held for hours before escaping. Raymond Hutchins was convicted of robbery and assault. He is serving 20 years in state prison. Part 5. I do not work loading docks alone anymore. I make sure security knows when we are unloading. I keep something nearby that I can use to defend myself. Loading docks are isolated and vulnerable. Predators know this. They wait in shadows. They watch for employees working alone at night. If you work retail loading docks, please be careful. Work in groups. Stay alert. Know where help is. Because predators target isolated workers. They come from the shadows. and they are always watching for the moment when you are vulnerable. The end. If these stories scared you, leave a comment below and tell me which one was the most terrifying. And remember, the next time you visit or work at a Walmart, pay attention to your surroundings. Check parking garages before approaching your car. Look for holes and cameras in fitting rooms and restrooms. Watch for people who follow you through the store. And if you work there, never assume you are safe just because the building is closed. Because predators are everywhere. They park vans next to your car. They drill holes in fitting room walls. They hide in stores until closing. They follow shoppers home. They wait at loading docks. And they are always watching, always planning, always waiting for the moment when you let your guard down. Stay alert, stay safe, and trust your instincts. Because your instincts are almost always right. And paying attention could save your life.